Speaking of supercars and super, we're joined by Ella live with us in the studio. Ella, you actually made it in here. Brilliant, woo! Oh, this is fantastic. And gifts, obviously gifts. I think this is what this is, isn't it? But you've actually brought in a Lego supercar with you.
I brought you a few toys, Mark. Wow. I thought you were having way too much fun. So.
Yeah, look at these. They're amazing. And did you make this one?
I did, yeah, a bit of homework prep before the show.
Brilliant. So how on earth did you end up working for British supercar maker McLaren? That's a fantastic story.
Well, I'm very, very lucky. It all started back in school. I loved science. I loved chemistry in particular. I wanted to fix problems, solve things, and contribute to industry. So I knew that I wanted to be an engineer probably quite early on, but I didn't even dream of cars. I wanted to, like I said, be an engineer and sort of fix problems, and it took me down materials engineering route at University of Manchester. And I'll never forget the day when I was filling out all the application processes for internships and stuff, and I had a big poster of a McLaren P1 on my bedroom wall. Wow. And it was just something, I grew up watching Top Gear with my dad. I loved watching cars on TV. It was just something so exciting, but to me it was just TV. And when I was looking up at this poster, I thought, why not apply to McLaren? And I wrote them a letter. They didn't have an opening. I wrote them a letter. And it was a great life lesson that you've just got to grab and seize these opportunities, because I got a 12-month internship and then they invited me back, and I've been there 3 years.
Wow, fantastic. And what does a normal day for you look like at McLaren?
It's pretty wild. As you saw from the footage, it's very James Bond. It's very, very humbling office to be in.
It's amazing, isn't it? Just amazing.
I know, but it inspires you. Mm-hmm. So every day I go there and I think, how are we going to make this better? How are we going back to that performance element? I think every day I'm surrounded by beauty, surrounded by like unbelievable engineering. And so every day I'm going in saying, what can I do? But generally, I spend a lot of time in the lab, so my work is quite experimental. We want to push the boundaries where we put materials, how lightweight, how strong, what the aesthetics of them look like. So quite a lot of my time is doing experiments to make sure that if we have really high UV conditions, it's still going to remain this color. If we're going to put it through these amounts of pressures and temperatures, it's still going to be structurally sound. So have a lot of lab time, but then I get to see them as well. Be around a lot of cars.
I mean, I was brought up in the Middle East. It used to get so hot that all the dashboards used to just crack and sort of fall apart really quickly as well. So all of that work what you're doing is about making things like that not happen anymore, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you think about, I'm a materials scientist, materials engineer, and what we do, everything is made out of materials. And so I use my job and analyse things so small on an atomic level and see what the atoms are doing and how I can make improvements at that level. And when you bring it out into the bulk of a car, you make significant changes.
Wow.
So.
And some of the things you're working on at the moment, are they too secret to tell us or share with us, or is there things that you're doing that you can let us know about?
There's lots of cool stuff going on, as you can imagine, but I think what is no secret is that the automotive industry is changing. We're looking towards electrification, and this is going to happen across transportation, motorsport, everywhere. And a lot of my job is to take lightweighting even further. So if we are going to introduce hybrid systems, battery systems, we're going to have to account for that weight somewhere. And McLarens are famous for being so lightweight. So my job of making a lightweight car even lighter is very difficult. But this is the challenge. And looking at materials and where we can save weight or how we can make things more structurally sound so we can make them smaller, for example, is a lot of what I'm going to do going forward. So I'm really excited for that.
Fantastic. And a lot of people who work in engineering, they have to kind of get involved. So we heard from Sophie earlier, who works in aerospace, but she's learning to fly. Have you driven a fast McLaren?
Oh, wonderful perk of the job, Mark. I don't want to make you too jealous.
Wow.
But yeah, as an engineer, we've got to know what our product's like. We've got to experience it. If we are root cause analysing, we call it, to getting to the heart of a problem, we need to see what that car's doing under that specific condition. And whether it be in a track, whether it be, you know, on the roads, whatever it is, I am fortunate enough that I get to experience this.
Wow. And who are the sort of people who've really inspired you from when you were little to now to really get exciting and enthused about all of this, you know, in the world of engineering? Who's been a kind of really good role model for you?
I believe role models change all the time, and I've had so many different role models depending on where I am currently in my career. But what I love about engineers before me and what inspires me to get into this type of industry are people who you wouldn't necessarily believe are engineers, or who have done something and they're still so true to themselves. And I've mentioned this previously, but one of my inspirations was Alan Turing. And I think his work that he did with computing, the amazing steps he took technology, we wouldn't be where we are today without him. And yet his personal story and his credibility, I'm really inspired by him. So he will always have a special place.